Hello friends, welcome to Kavita's classroom. Today's topic in hand is Production Possibility Curve of Microeconomics, the very first chapter. And this has something to do with the term opportunity cost. So let me explain the same, and before moving ahead, a request to you to subscribe my videos. Okay, let's proceed. Opportunity cost. Before giving you the technical terms, let me explain the same in bit of simpler terms. What do you mean by the term opportunity cost? The opportunity lost is the opportunity cost. Simple example. It's Saturday today, and I feel like, oh, I would sleep during the daytime for good 3 hours as I could not have that rest during my weekdays, right? So, what's the opportunity cost of sleeping for 3 hours? The opportunity cost is I could have covered one movie for me. I could have done some domestic course. I could have studied a bit. So, whatever I could not do because I slept, right, is my opportunity cost. Opportunity lost is the opportunity cost of availed opportunity. Whatever we do, whatever is availed, okay, because I availed that, whatever I lost is my opportunity cost, right? You study, say, economics BSc accounts in 11th and 12th. So what's the opportunity cost of you taking these subjects? That now you cannot be the doctor or engineer because you have taken the subjects of some other stream. Right. So while availing some opportunity, what opportunities are lost by you becomes the opportunity cost. Okay. For example, now let us see what example is quoted here. It's the value of next best alternative forgone. Why is it said next best alternative? Because the precondition and pre-assumption of doing anything in economics, whether you are talking about any chapter or any stream, micro, macro, rationality, wherever the assumptions are required, and if you just write one assumption as rationality, you get to have 1 mark if it was given any credit. Rationality is pre-assumption of any chapter that we are behaving in optimum manner, the best possible manner, the rational manner. That's why we say next best alternative. Why? Because if we are given 1, 2, 3 and 4 alternatives, I would definitely choose the best for me. So whatever was the next best which I did not avail is my opportunity cost. Okay. Now, for example, if you get two job offers with an income of 30,000, 35,000, right? You being the rational person, other things remaining the same here means there would be some other criterions also which would be similar. The only difference was of this pay package. So being rational, you would go by 35,000. So next best alternative was 30,000. So opportunity cost of 35,000 is not availing 30,000, right? So this opportunity cost has got number of names: OC, MOC, MRT, MRS, MRE. And in the following chapters, you'll get to know that somewhere you're talking about marginal rate of transformation, somewhere it becomes marginal rate of substitution or marginal rate of exchange or marginal opportunity cost or opportunity cost. Actually, the rationality behind all these 5 concepts is the same. Opportunity cost is the common name, right? And these terms become specific as per the chapter's requirement. Like this talks about the PPC, this talks about the indifference curve, this talks about the budget line. Here in all the topics, you would be talking about loss at one position and gain at other position. So you would be the common formula in all of these situations would be, you would be just checking the ratio of what loss you have borne with respect to gain. So we'll be doing these things minutely as and when we come across. And this becomes the basic of PPC also. This would be given to you with respect to numerical situation. So let's begin. The most important topic of this chapter is production possibility curve. Curve means the graphical presentation. What is it to show? The production possibilities. And when I say production possibility, how the production happens? It happens with the help of resources and technology. And whenever we're talking about this type of production, rationality is the most important assumption. Means the optimum utilization, no wastage of resources is the most important assumption. So if we just weave all these words, what do we get as the definition? PPC refers to the graphical presentation of possible combinations of two goods that can be produced with the help of resources and technology. Mind you, because we are showing everywhere it on 2D diagrams, right? Where we have X and Y axis. So we have taken it only for two goods. It's on a simpler note, right? It's a graphical presentation. We are trying to showcase the production possibilities, means the trade-off of two goods, right? And the production happens with the help of resource and technology. PPC is also called PPF, Production Possibility Frontier. It's also called Transformation Curve or Transformation Line. Transformation Curve or Transformation Line. This also, or Transformation Frontier. So these also are the synonyms to this term. So when we say schedule, I often tell my students, schedule is nothing but the tabular representation you would have everywhere. Wherever table is made in economics, you would have the heading, the schedule of PPC, schedule of demand curve, schedule of supply curve, whatever, right? So here, how do we show? And this says the possibilities, and you have taken two goods, TV and wheat, and there is a term MOC, marginal opportunity cost. So how do we make it, right? I'm just making it here, like, how do I get to know what is to be written on x-axis and what is to be written on y-axis? The things which are gaining would be written on x-axis, and the things which are being reduced are on y-axis. This is O origin, the x-axis and the y-axis, right? And here I do want to tell you that whenever we are making any diagram of economics, right, we never are expected to do it with respect to a particular scale. And you never get to have any deduction of marks if you have not properly put scale on x and y axis. It's only the context, it's only the slopes which are required and seen and checked and avoided. Right. So here, if we say possibilities are A, B, C, D, E, F, G, it means it's talking about maybe this is the possibility A where 21 is 21 versus 0 is there, means there is no production of wheat and the whole amount of resource is put to the production of TVs. Okay. Then we have another reference point. These are the reference points A, B. Then we have C, D, E, F, and G. So this is how we show the reference points. And then these are the points of arbitrage or the trade-off which is given, right? Here G is 0 of TV and 6 units are made here, right? So this is the shape, and this shape is called concave shape. This is the shape of PPC curve, production possibility curve. Now I'm randomly taking something, and now just for the sake of explaining this to you, say I'm talking about C and I'm talking about point D. At point C, I have 18 and 2, 18 units of TV and 2 units of wheat. And here I have 15 units of TV and 3 units of wheat. What does it mean to me? They say initially we begin at the situation A where all the resources are put to the production of Y and 0 to production of X. Gradually and slowly we are just transforming the production from Y to X, means we are reducing bit of Y and gaining marginally at X. When I say the term marginal, Please make sure that you know we are talking about every additional unit. Means you would see that whenever we are talking about x-axis, the change is the same all throughout. It's by one additional unit, right? So we here try to understand, to make one more unit of x every time, how much of y is required to be sacrificed. Why at all the sacrifice is happening? Because the resources are limited. We can either produce this, or more of this and nothing of this, or bit less of this and some more of this. So when we are transforming the production from y to x, we need to reduce the production of y to gain the production of x, right? So here at point C, we are producing 18 units of y and 2 units of x. But if I want to produce one more unit of x, it means I need to lose how many? 3 units of y. So what is MOC? MOC is nothing but delta y by delta x. This is the common formula you would see in many next topics, right? Delta y by delta x means the rate of loss at y with respect to gain of x. Here, why I'm saying loss of y and gain of x? Because it's a downward sloping curve, and in economics, in these microeconomics topics, we have all the curves in a downward sloping manner. Had our curve been this way, upward, so we would have simply talked about change on y with respect to change on x. Here, y is also losing from this point. If they are going at this point, so y is also gaining and x is also gaining. So that's why the standard formula is change on y with respect to change on x. So you would be able to now understand MOC, that whenever we are moving to next position from A to B, B to C, C to D, similarly all, we are gaining 1 unit at every level of x, and for that gain of x, we are now sacrificing the units of y. And please keep a note of it, that the sacrifice, this is 1 is to 1, 2 is to 1, 3 is to 1, means gain is 1 at all the points, but loss is increasing. And do you see this increasing loss? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Because of this increase, this shape is concave. This table is giving you a concave shape curve because this loss of y is increasing at every additional gain. So when we talk about the properties of PPC, which is the most important part exactly asked in the papers, is the properties are PPC slopes downwards. Slopes downwards means simply this. Take any 2 points of reference, this and this. Say this is A and this is B. Sloping downwards means if you are here at point A dash, A double dash, B dash, B double dash. Try and understand, when you are losing at y-axis, then only you are able to gain at x-axis. So that's why it's saying downward sloping. Downward means for every gain on x-axis, you need to sacrifice on y-axis. They say there exists the inverse relationship between the change in the quantity of one commodity with respect to the change in the quantity of other. And the second is concave shape. They say increasing MOC gives concave shape. And we have already read here in this table that when this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 trend is coming, we are getting the concave shape. In the next chapter, you would have this reverse trend. Means instead of 1 to 6, you would have 6 to 1. So you would have another shape. So it's basically the MOC which decides the shape, right? Now the assumptions are simple, that resources are fixed. We are talking about only 2 goods. The technology also is constant, and we are fully and efficiently utilizing the resources.